was staying in Asia, where the attack on former Prime Minister Imran Khan, which supporters say was an attempted assassination, has drawn international condemnation. Mr. Khan's political opponents have come out to condemn the attack, with President Arif Alvi calling it a heinous assassination attempt, and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif ordered an immediate investigation. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called for calm, saying violence has no place in politics, and called all parties to refrain from violence, harassment, and intimidation. Senior PTI leaders Asad Umar and Fawad Chaudhry tweeted the party's intention to carry out nationwide strike after Friday prayers, calling on every Pakistani to come out for the demonstration. And for more on this, joining me via Skype, Global Affairs Analyst Collins Oweke, who joins me from Belgium. Good to have you join us. Thank you, Precious, for having me. So let me ask you, because this is now 15 years since the Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto was killed, also at a political rally. She was assassinated, also at a political rally. What does this tell you about the political climate in Pakistan?
It tells us that politics in Pakistan remains a game that people believe could be lost and won through violence. Because, of course, the memory of the assassination of Benazir Bhutto has never left the consciousness or the subconsciousness of the Pakistani people. And I believe that this could not have come as a surprise to Imran Khan, because this appears to be, the mode of operation in Pakistan, but also in India. Obviously, he had taken sufficient, precautions to ensure that the bullet doesn't get to him, because obviously this was assassination attack, but he ended up with a bullet on his foot and not, on his head or on his chest, whereas one individual has died and a number of others wounded.
And we've seen polarization and political unrest in Pakistan for a while now. How do you think that this particular incident will impact on the political climate in Pakistan?
The attempted assassination will only deepen the political divide. Now, if you look at the immediate aftermath of the incident, the way blames and counter-blames have been traded, the fact that, a police confession of the individual who was said to have carried out the attack suddenly showed up, and nobody is quite clear the condition under which the video recording took place, and the fact that Imran Khan himself has very, very directly accused the establishment. And here, when they talk about establishment, they are talking about the military, but also the government in power, to have orchestrated this attempted assassination. So you see, this will actually make the divide, the political divide, grow wider amidst other issues that have been on the ground. For instance, the trial for corruption that has now, according to them, effectively barred Imran Khan from holding public office, and the fact that he remains defiant and organizing this protest destination Islamabad, the capital.
And I want to get to the very last point you just made in a moment, but you also talked about how the accusations and allegations that have been made by Imran Khan himself and his party, they have also mentioned the Prime Minister directly, Shehbaz Sharif, to be involved in this, alleging that he's involved in this. And he also mentioned issues around intelligence agents, as well as the US as well. But how do you expect the government to handle this, bearing in mind that the Prime Minister has been, allegations are now against the Prime Minister as well, and the establishment, as you mentioned?
Well, one of the first things that the government has done, one that is indeed expected of them, is to order immediate investigation. Okay. Well, I hope that investigation is going to be transparent, that is going to be handled independently without government meddling into it. Because come to think of it, Imran Khan may have been out of office because he suffered a vote of no confidence in Parliament, but he remains a very, very popular, albeit divisive figure in Pakistani politics. We have seen how much the protest that he has been leading since April has been gathering momentum. And so what all of these indicate is that if the government is not seen to have handled this investigation and exonerate itself very, very clearly, I think there is, Pakistan is set to go into the kind of crisis that they had never seen before, I mean politically. So yes, the government needs to be really very transparent, very open and swift in, carrying out this investigation.
And you mentioned the popularity of Imran Khan. He's somebody who, whether, if not just as a prime minister, but he was once a cricket star and was very much loved by the country for the victory on the field. And so there are those who remember him from the days of being a cricket star. There are those who remember him as a prime minister. He enjoys popularity. We've seen protests on the street in the wake of the assassination attempt. We've seen, and we understand that there's likely to be more protests over the weekend where a lot of people will not be at work. And so what does this mean for him? Because he's been calling for a snap election. What does this mean for him in terms of his popularity in Pakistan?
Well, there are indications that this attempted assassination might actually, heighten his popularity the more. Let us not forget, certain twists that his opponents have tried to bring to this. Some have actually said that he may have orchestrated, the assassination attempt as a way of boosting his popularity. That he may have masterminded it himself. So that perhaps is another aspect of the investigation that we're going to see unfold. But we cannot play down the enormity of challenge that is facing Imran Khan, because as we speak, a court has, ruled against him for corruption charges, which effectively bars him from holding public office. So whether he's going to be able to, although he has challenged it, but we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So whether or not he's going to be able to contest in the next election, if he succeeds in calling for an early election, which is the purpose of the series of protests that he's been organizing, remains to be seen. But he has an uphill task ahead of him, even as he becomes more and more popular.
But with this assassination attempt play in his favor, if in terms of also being cleared of the charges, could he use this as some sort of leverage and rhetoric that will play in his favor?
Absolutely, and he is already doing that. But you see, it is a modeled up landscape, because as he tries to do that, his opponents are already saying that he may have been the one that planted the assassin. So we are set to continue to see different kinds of blame games going on. But whether or not he's going to manage to use this, as a way of beefing up his popularity, there is absolutely no doubt about that. And that appears to be working, because there was a poll that I saw a couple of hours ago, which actually favored him pretty well, as against a week ago when this hadn't happened.
We'll continue to monitor developments in that country. Thank you so much for talking to us, as always. Global Affairs Analyst Collins Owinke.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.